Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to share with you all the fragrances that I have with the note of coconut in it. Now, I think what I'll do is start with ones where the note is in, like coconut is in the fragrance, but I don't necessarily pick it up. Other people might, and then I'll go on to the ones that I find exceptionally coconutty or have that vibe. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Just hit it. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. I would love to have you part of the community. And for those of you that are already part of the WWF, thanks so much. I love you guys. You're awesome. And without further ado, let's get into this. Now, here's the thing. Last week, this is Canada for you. Maybe it's this everywhere, but last week I was freezing and had to have a sweater. Today I wish I was doing this video naked because I am so hot. It's so hot already, but anyway, that's the beauty of Canada, and I'm not complaining. I kind of am, but if you see a glow begin, like a glistening, it's because it's really hot in my house. So first one I'm going to start with is, now these are ones that have the note of coconut, but I don't necessarily get a ton of coconut in them, if at all. But I wanted to share them with you because some of them are really great. This one I'm just going to get out of the way. This is Miami Glow. Lots of people love this one. I had heard that you could, oh yeah, really nice coconut, summer, delicious. This just reminds me of kind of a shampoo from the 80s. So like I was trying to figure out why I didn't like this, and I think it's because it reminds me of my teenage years, which were less than fun. So yeah, like I had fun and stuff, but it wasn't exactly a carefree time. So this just doesn't do it for me, but I think some might like it. I've heard really mixed comments. I asked people what they thought of it. Really mixed. Some love it, especially in the heat. I'm still going to give it a go in the heat. So far it's a no-go, but it does have coconut. I'm also not going to go through all the notes because I've got like, I think 12 perfumes here, and the video will just get too long. So I'm just kind of going to go through, share with you some of my thoughts and so on. The next one is Jasmine Whis by Rasasi. This one, I guess I can smell a little bit of coconut in this one, now that I've been wearing it for quite some time. It's primarily though really fruity, like I think there's passion fruit in this, super fruity, bold, loud fragrance. I definitely will wear this during the summer, even though it's really potent, just because it's so vivacious and juicy, and it's a bit scratchy. It's definitely not blind buy worthy. I think some people would really hate this. It's called Jasmine Whis, but it doesn't really have jasmine in it. But yeah, super fruit bomb, but a little bit sexy, and there's a slight coconut underneath. But yeah, this one's really great. The next one I have is Serge Lutens Bois Vanille. Now, I would have never known that there was coconut in this until I looked at the notes, and I was kind of researching all my fragrances to see which ones had coconut. And sure enough, this one did. Now that I know that coconut is in here, I get that. This is a super vanilla, like it's kind of vanilla woods. I really like this. It's very sweet, but I can see where the coconut kind of pairs really nice with the vanilla. Makes this a beautiful gourmand. Definitely not for summer, but I can't wait to wear this in the autumn and winter. It's just super comforting, creamy, sweet, delicious, woody, just a hint of smoke in it. Beautiful vanilla fragrance. The next one that has coconut is Casmir by Chopard. Now this one has like, it's a note bomb. So there's tons and tons of notes in this one. What I primarily get out of this one though is apricot with vanilla, but again, with that vanilla, I can see that coconut kind of rounds out that vanilla, gives it a little hint more sweetness, but I would never guess that coconut was in this just smelling it because the apricot is so predominant. The next fragrance is one that I said I would never own. I have, thanks to Lori, the the dupe version, and that is Sweet Hope by Rive, and this is a dupe for Hypnotic Poison. And that, in this one, I can smell a little bit of that coconut, but it's paired with vanilla and almond. So you get a lot more of that almond than you do coconut. But knowing that coconut is in here, I can kind of, like, I get it. But I would have never guessed. I would have primarily thought this was vanilla and almond. So, but yeah, Hypnotic Poison has coconut. Tell me if you sniff, like, out of these ones that I've just mentioned, do you guys notice the coconut in it? I'd love to know. But yeah, so far these ones, the note of coconut is in it, but I wouldn't have picked coconut out as a note. The next one is Zara Yellow Sun. I don't know if a person can even get this one. This one, I love it. I think it's got apricot and coconut and one other note. This one, I notice again more that fruit, but there is this kind of sweet scent as well. Yeah, this one is so pretty. It's kind of like just kind of a refreshing, yep. I can smell a little bit of the coconut in, but again, it's primarily, I'm noticing that apricot in this, but this is just kind of a sweet, creamy fragrance. Very nice. Okay, and the last on the list of, I can't really notice the coconut, is Tom Ford Eau de Soleil Blanc. This fragrance is going to be on my like top fragrances forever list because I just love this one so much. But coconut is, although coconut is in this, it's definitely not, it's not what I get primarily. I get more of a, almost like an evergreeny scent, or like a pine scent, even though I don't believe that's in the notes. And then it kind of goes sunscreeny, warm. It gives you that solar sunscreen warm vibe. So maybe something like a coconut water, I can see, you know, potentially more so than just straight coconut. Yeah, this one's a lot more kind of bright and fresh rather than like a warm, creamy coconut. So it's in there, but I don't really notice it, but I love this fragrance. The longevity, terrible, but I love this fragrance. Those fragrances I kind of rushed through. They are ones that coconut is in, but I don't really notice it. Now, moving on to the fragrances that I do notice the coconut. Now, I'm gonna start with Ariana Grande Cloud. This one has lavender, there's coconut in here, I think whipped cream as well. So it just, the coconut is very airy. It'd be like if you whipped up coconut oil, if you've ever smelt that. That's kind of the vibe I get out of this one. Not oily, but just that light coconut fragrance. Definitely get that in this one. And it's really, this one's quite comforting and yeah, just comforting, kind of airy. The next one that I am absolutely in love with is Terractotta Le Parfum by Guerlain. Now this one is definitely kind of that warm tropical fragrance. I love this one. This one smells so rich. This one has a lot of tiare flower. I think that there's frangipani in here. So kind of the typical yellow tropical florals. Paired with coconut in there, and I get that slight coconutty vibe with the tropical florals. So this one's definitely more tropical floral, but paired with that coconut. And somehow this one also has kind of almost a buttery aspect to it as it dries down on the skin. It's kind of warm, oily, but not in like an oily way, but almost like a buttery kind of fragrance on the skin. Really warm. It's beautiful. I love this one. Okay, next on my list of coconutty smells that I absolutely adore. I love all of these. Like this whole section. I think I really love coconuts. Coconuts, coconuts. I love me some coconuts. The reality is that in the summertime, I like my body washes have coconut. I body sprays, I go for coconut. Coconut is my thing. Like it's my jam in the summer, even though sometimes I find it kind of cloying Definitely love it. Are you starting to see me glisten? Like I'm feeling the gliss. Okay, moving on. Dolce and Gabbana, The Only One Intense. Love this fragrance. So for me, the coconut happens. Woo! The coconut happens in the opening of this one. Now it's got green apple, coconut in there, and then cedar down in the base. To me, it comes across as a boozy coconut drink in the opening. I love the opening. Now, as that dries down, you lose the coconut, unfortunately. I wish that coconut stayed the whole entire time, but you kind of lose it. It's still there, but it takes a second place to the wood. And there's cedar in it, but it almost smells sandalwoody. Like there's a really warm, creamy, sweet wood that kind of comes to the front. But then it's supported by the coconut. So the opening of this, amazing. I find the longevity on this one excellent, like 7 hours, maybe more. It's just very beautiful. And this one, I wouldn't wear it during the day in the summer, but definitely as an evening fragrance, and then it's great all year round. I definitely don't think this is, you know, just because it has coconut in doesn't mean I'm not going to wear it during the rest of the year, even though it's like predominant. Yeah, so next one, this one is my baby. I wear it a ton, but haven't been wearing it since it got warmer. It's Rich, Warm, Addictive by Zara. This one just, it's just so good. So good. So it's like a boozy, like a rum coconut. I don't really smell the tobacco. I just smell coconut rum deliciousness. This one to me is so sexy, and in the fall and the winter, I wear this every night to bed. Like this, it's kind of sexy. It doesn't, like, it's not overpowering. Sweet. I love smelling it. Oh. The bottle's nice and cold. Oh, that feels good. It is cold. I'm hot. I'm really hot. Okay. The other thing about this one is the longevity is not good. So, you know, you're going to get 3 hours maybe, but because I wear it as a nighttime scent, it's not a big deal. I just really love myself as I go to bed. And then I don't smell it because I fall asleep. This one, I haven't worn it much during the day. I think I'll try that in the fall. Give this a go and just really get a good feel for the longevity of it. But I really enjoy this. Okay, next one is Versace's Crystal Noir. Now this one, definitely you smell the coconut, but this one smells like an aloof coconut. Like it smells quite rich. It's lighter, like there's a lightness to it. It's not overpowering, but I definitely get that coconut. I'm not sure what the rest of I think there's a bit of pepper in this. Coconut and pepper. What this smells like to me every time is for whatever reason, I always think dark hair for this one. So a sensual, sensuous, kind of intoxicating woman who wears leather. She rides a motorcycle very well. She doesn't ride like a Harley. This one rides like a high performance bike that she can kind of go in and out of. Yeah. Anyway, she's an assassin, and so she lures in her prey and then she stabs them in the back. This to me is Versace Crystal Noir. Like, so there's coconut, but it's kind of got a spiciness to it. It's definitely colder. I would say this is more of an evening scent, but it's great for summer evenings, I would say for sure. The longevity on this one isn't great, and I didn't really enjoy this one in the cold because it's so cold smelling. It didn't feel cozy or anything like that. So this to me would be great for summer evenings. The next fragrance that I have for you is by Perfume Parlor, and it's the Bronze Goddess dupe. So this one's called Sulphur 0114, but it is the inspired scent of Bronze Goddess. Now I had Bronze Goddess Eau Fraiche, and I gave that one to Lori because I wasn't really crazy about the amount of bergamot in that one. But this one I really like, and she had given me this, so I just didn't think I needed to go out and get Bronze Goddess, but they smell very similar. This one again is similar to Terractotta in the fact that it has a lot of the tiare kind of a little bit more of the yellow florals, but this one you definitely get a bit of vanilla, a bit of that coconut in it, and it's just really pretty. It's very warm smelling, so it's warm, sitting on a beach, sun type smell. So this one is definitely worth checking out. If I were to choose between these two, I would pick Terractotta. I just find this one a little more sophisticated, not quite as sweet. This one I think you get cloying if it's super hot. But yeah, Bronze Goddess is really beautiful. I'll do one more perfume parlor one that I got. It's Blue Waters 0424, which is the inspired for Creed's Virgin Island waters. This fragrance I really enjoy. This one is just a burst of lime and coconut. Yeah, I just really like it. It smells very refreshing. It smells like, it kind of smells like a margarita to me. So it's got that bright lime, but then there's also, you can smell that coconut. Anything coconut lime I really enjoy. And then a hint of kind of that rum or some sort of alcohol aspect to it. So this one I think is really refreshing for the summer. So Creed Virgin Island water, or of course there is the dupes that you can find. Next coconut fragrance that I have for you is Rihanna's Red Floor. And this one is definitely, I get that coconut. I put it on my hand. Okay, it's dried down too much, so I'm smelling mainly vanilla. But this one, I can definitely smell the coconut, and then there's plum in it. And for the longest time, I wasn't liking plum, and all of a sudden now I'm really liking plum. So I can see myself really enjoying this. Again, I would say that this one is more evening appropriate. For summer, it may be too sweet during the day. But this one's quite sensual. It's warm with that plum in it. It smells a little bit, not sticky, but kind of. It's sexy. This one is definitely sexy. I can't believe it. It's funny how our noses change, because last year I was just not having this one. But now I'm really starting to get into that plum. Smells like a little overripe, quite juicy, and somehow just sexy. So yeah, this one's good. My next coconut fragrance that I think is just absolutely fantastic, like I love it, is Dolce Garden by Dolce & Gabbana. Now this one, definitely get that coconut. It smells creamy. There's the florals in that again, like there's magnolia, there's like kind of a, I don't know, waxy quality. This would be what I would consider, like, it's not an airy fragrance. It's kind of thick, but still translucent. Like, I think of not gauze by any means, but almost like a wax. It'd be like if this was a flower and you dipped it in just a really light wax. Somehow that's what I get from this. So you definitely get the coconut. This again has that, like that rich, it's quite sweet. This one's really sweet actually. But it just smells so delicious. This one, although it has a lot of floral, I would consider it almost gourmand. Like I just love the smell of this. Sweet, delicious, quite sexy, but innocent at the same time. So I think this one's beautiful. Again, in the high heat, this would potentially just choke you right out. But I think this makes a really pretty evening fragrance for the summer. And I find that this one projects beautifully. So Dolce Garden, love it. My last coconut fragrance for you is Coco Fig by Comptoir Sud Pacifique. So this one is just all coconut. The opening especially, it's just, I love the coconut in this. It's quite synthetic. It's a bit powdery, but I smell it and it just smells really just coconut and happy, and it just makes me happy. As this one dries down, at first I thought I didn't like it, but I actually really do. There's a green quality to the Coco Fig. A lot of the Comptoir Sud Pacifique fragrances have cocoa, like coconut in them. So there's Cocoa Extreme, I think there's Cocoa Vanille, the Banana Vanille, like a lot of their fragrances have the coconut note in it. This one is definitely like there's that fig, but there's a greenness to it. So it's not as sweet as the other Comptoir Sud Pacifique ones I've smelt. But I really like this one. What I'm excited about doing is pairing this one. So for instance, the Coco Fig, I would love to pair it with the Creed Virgin Island Waters to bump up the coconut in this, because this one I'm smelling the coconut and lime, but I want more coconut. So I would mix the two. I've mixed these two together, so to just anything to bump up the coconut, I would go with something like this. So actually, I think this would be a good combination too. So I'm looking forward to using this in particular as a layering fragrance when I want to just add a bit more sweet coconut to the mix. I'm going to be using this one. So those are my coconut fragrances. I hope you don't mind that I threw in the ones that have coconut as a note, but don't necessarily, you don't necessarily smell the coconut. I think a lot of times notes kind of add a quality that without that note, it just wouldn't be the same. So coconut on its own for some people might be too sweet or sickly. Some people just love it, but some people like coconut to add kind of just a warmth or a sweetness to a fragrance. So I thought I'd share with you ones, you know, like the Casmir, where you know, it just kind of pairs nicely with the vanilla, but you don't necessarily notice it as its own, like you don't really notice it individually. It just kind of blends with everything else. So I thought I'd give you a bit of both. For me, I like the coconut note coming out nice and strong. So yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your favorite coconut fragrances? Give me 3 favorite coconut fragrances. I would love to hear from you. And the last thing I want to say is people have been asking for what makeup I wear. So I've put kind of my base, like the base products that I use regularly in the description bar, and I will eventually have them all linked for you. So you can go check them out. And other than that, that's it. I'm going to put something on a little cooler because I'm quite warm right now. Have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.